Okay, I believe I am back again and no viewers at the moment. Sorry, everybody. This has been a goof up.
That's all right. All good.
All right. Now I believe
it's good. Yep, you sound a lot better now.
Good.
Okay. All right, man.
I can still hear myself.
So maybe we should just start over.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, I can't turn that on. All right then. I guess.
Well,
maybe I need to go.
Are you still at?
Yeah, it is a little bit better.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good. Well, I didn't think live streaming.
Yeah,
such a big deal. Let's see. Is it even? Take a look here. To my channel. Doesn't show them live.
Check.
But it says that
It says you're live, so I think we're good.
Okay.
I can press chat.
There we are. Oh, that's the delay. Eesh. That is loud. All right. I don't know how this is going to work. We not be able to get it out.
Okay.
Oh, we got two people.
What's up, two people?
I gotta apologize again to everybody. It's supposed to.
This is better, but at first, when we first started, I was just telling the story. I could hear you fine, and then it just kind of jumped around. It got worse, but seems good now. I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Pretty good too.
All right.
I just gotta work out a few kinks.
Hey, good. Live can be a pain sometimes.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
All right. You want to just start from the beginning?
All right. Yeah. So I'm Ryan. What's up? Originally from Bridgewater Triangle, Mass, up there with all the weird stuff. I've had a lot of experiences up there. I live in Virginia now. I am on the ocean in Virginia, in Norfolk, right next to the biggest military base. I've seen some of the drones going around. I've seen paranormal activity before. My first UFO was up in Maine with my sister and 4 friends. I was dumb and waved at the UFO, and my sister and friends were freaking out. It was a big orange ball, like plasma ball, over the lake, and we could see the reflection off the lake. So maybe 100 feet off the lake. This thing zoomed off after about a minute, just disappeared off into space. My sister with me, and then a couple of my friends. But after that, I had dreams for weeks of me waving down on the beach, looking at my friends and my sister on the beach, which was very weird. Maybe it was my own imagination making things up from the experience, but very weird. I've seen other orbs and UFOs a couple times. The other stuff, paranormal stuff is even crazier. I've seen a shadow kid, Paul A. Dever up in Massachusetts, Bridgewater Triangle. Old, it's an old asylum with a bunch of buildings on the property. A bunch of tunnels run through underground through to each building and stuff. So we all, as kids, 7 of us all went there, and we were just going to have fun to explore the abandoned asylum. And we're walking through these tunnels. I'm videotaping with an old high 8 camera, and everybody's flashlights end up dying. My camera's the last light, and it dies. And then when we're leaving, there's only one window open, so that that's the only way in and out. We had experiences throughout the night before that of weird stuff going on, but when we were leaving, a 4-foot tall shadow person was standing outside the window. All of us froze. I even put my hands up like security was coming. Then I'm realizing it's a 4-foot tall kid, full outline of a shadow person. You could tell, and then you could even see him run through the field. The tall grass moved. He hit a brick wall, and we all saw this. A girl next to me screamed, disappeared into a brick wall across the field in a different building. We stayed for about a half an hour looking around. We didn't find anything. We didn't see anyone. We pretty much all knew what had happened after that point.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy things I've witnessed and just, exploring. And then 6 years ago, I started YouTube, and just because of all these things that have happened, I figured maybe I can catch some of it.
Right. So there's no way you can get your throw a brick wall like that. It's intangible or something.
It wasn't like we didn't see it hit the brick wall. A bunch of us were like, that just ran straight into that brick wall, like the one behind you, and was gone into the building. And we even stayed and looked around for a while. That place did have security. We were kind of dumb kids just hanging out, walking around in the fields. But security never came until the very end. We were almost out of the place. Security did show up. So we all hid in bushes and stuff. My friend Wayne had a Nextel, the blurp bleep. And the blurp bleep went off, and you hear the cop, the security guard near us say, blurp bleep, hello? And he must have been freaked out. So he left. He freaked out, I think. And we all left after that. I was a kid. I was 16, maybe 17.
Right.
We did a lot of stupid things back in the day.
Yeah, we all kind of did.
Yeah.
I found with this echo. Nothing on.
I'm not getting a real echo. I get you sound good. You're getting
something. Anyway. So how long have you been doing your research?
For a long time. I would say I was probably 19 or 20 when I really started looking into a lot of different paranormal stuff like that. But my whole life, I had experiences from one of my first ones. I was playing with a Ouija board when I was 10, and I could have sworn the planchette moved. So I freaked out, but I don't know, maybe that's just a little kid freaking out. But after that, I had more experiences. You might hear helicopters and stuff. I'm right near a big military base. But anyway, the big one for me was probably me and my sister staying at our house, and we were home alone. My parents were out, and my grandmother had probably passed maybe a week or two before, and we were there when she passed away. She always used to say to us that she would let us know after she passed away that she was still, around.
Yeah.
But what me and my sister heard while we were sitting in the living room from upstairs of my grandmother's voice saying, "Hey, Nikki, come here." And I said, "Mom just called you." And Nikki goes, "Mom's not home." So we both immediately knew that was our grandmother. We both went upstairs, no one around, nobody in the house. So it's small things like that where you can't you're not gonna catch everything all the time, but
Right.
when you have an experience and you know 100%, then you just know it's very different from some of
Oh
you
yeah,
see
when
on
you
the
hear a
news.
disembodied voices,
it's
if you're not prepared for it, it can be unnerving.
unnerving.
It's good to have somebody with you for
Oh yeah.
backup.
Oh yeah.
I usually do my investigations alone, but I have had weird things out in the Bridgewater Triangle. I've gotten I call it real ghost voice Bridgewater Triangle, just walking through the woods. Didn't expect it. Wasn't, tried a bunch of equipment. It wasn't on equipment. It was just in my ear. I heard it at the time and thought it was a dog bark in the distance. It's just a woman's voice saying something like, "Hey, go away," or "Get out of here," or "Get out, go away." I've had other instances while researching a 1786 house up in the Bridgewater Triangle where I thought I heard a little kid downstairs saying like "Hey" or "Hello," something like that. Possibly it was a cat, or maybe just a weird noise from the house, the old house. So
I know. Recently, you had one with
footsteps coming up.
yeah,
I looked at the
I looked at the audio on that.
Slight reverb,
so it was in the area.
And to me, it sounded like
something walking on gravel.
Yeah, that's there's a concrete path that has like some rocks on it, but that's right in front of what's called Quarters 1 at Fort Monroe in Virginia. And the ghost story for that goes way back. Like Abraham Lincoln stayed there, Civil War times. Even further back, it goes back to Native American stuff.
Okay.
That land also had a train that ran on it, a lot of 15-inch barrel cannons and stuff. The activity has been reported since the Civil War times from the military guys that were stationed there. So the footsteps, I kind of wasn't surprised that I got that, but at the same time, I really thought somebody was walking up to me. I thought security was coming over and being like, "You can't be doing this." So I'm looking right in that direction. Seemed about 8-10 feet away from me, like out in front of the house, and I'm underneath the front porch. There's reports. Vieira Davis, she shakes windows or will slam windows. There's reports of seeing Abraham Lincoln in that house next to the fireplace.
Oh wow.
There's a lot of stuff going on at that fort. Edgar Allan Poe was locked up there. Ulysses S. Grant was locked up there. And
list.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's an old fort, the biggest stone fort on the East Coast. It has a full moat. So there's a story of the moat monster from one of the generals. It gets real weird. And then there's shadow figures said to be seen running across the ramparts on the top of like the fort walls. I witnessed that, and I did not catch that. I was behind tree branches while I was walking towards it. There was a tree branch. I thought I caught it, so I was in the video. It sounds like I caught a shadow figure, but I didn't catch it. So I was pissed on that one, but
Yeah, it happens.
It happens.
Have you been there?
There?
You plan on going back to it? You what?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last question.
Oh, I was going to say, have you been there before?
Or are you going back?
Yeah, I've been there. So I went there the first time maybe 2 years ago, and it was just like a tour of the place. And we went through the casement where the so cannon battery part and like artillery is held. You walk through, you can see some of the old jail cells. You can actually see where Edgar Allan Poe's his actual jail cell was. A bunch of old stuff in there, cannonballs. This was Ironsides 2 time, where there's old boats called Ironsides. That's my favorite boat, that were covered in iron, and they would battle for like days and just shoot cannonballs at each other and it would just bounce off, you know. So some of the history there is like some of my favorite out of all the history. Edgar Allan Poe's like one of the greatest, the Raven and everything. Like so, the history alone. I will be going back pretty soon. I've got to get to the office and actually ask if I can go into quarters one. But for the past like year, they've been renovating it and they're trying to fix it so that it's perfect. And then I'm guessing they're probably going to do tours of it, so you could walk through it. I got to see if I can do a ghost investigation inside one of the places.
Sweet. Okay.
Okay. According to Janet,
they can hear you.
they can
fine,
hear you fine, but they hear
so I'm hearing the echo.
the echo. They're here.
From
You're
me?
not here.
You're not here.
For me.
For me.
Oh, from you, I don't really hear it. Maybe a little, but not. It's not bad for me.
Let me try one thing.
Let me try one thing. Hold on.
Test. Well, you see, I just muted
See,
your
I just
audio.
muted your audio and it quit.
I don't have anything on.
Yeah, it's coming back to you somehow.
Volume maybe. Can you still hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Now hear me.
Now hear me.
Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm trying to work all the kinks out of this. Yeah, Pomp said it was
Mom
fine.
said it was fine when the rest toes.
Yeah.
There it is again.
Here it is again.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Mine did echo on Laura's raw side. Some at the end, though, at the very end. And I don't know if it's from me making yours echo. Because I can't hear you out of my phone. I got headphones in, so it shouldn't reverb.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why.
You want me to mute my mute?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can hear you perfect.
Yeah, I can hear you good. I
Yeah, I can hear you.
I've got an echo.
Now I've got an echo.
It's always on the first
Always
few.
on the first few.
Hey, you're doing good so far, even if there's a bit of an echo.
Very, very prominent.
Very
echo.
prominent.
Are you hearing yourself a second later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look right here. Sounds like you have your headset and a laptop locked on as well. Like two separate places are picking up signal. I'm trying to reduce it.
I'm not sure why it would do that because I can hear you perfect.
Yeah, because whenever I mute your microphone, yeah, see, I've got it muted right now. It's not doing the echo, so something's bouncing back, and I can't find the setting for it. So I've got you unmuted, and there's the echo.
Is it because my headphone? I don't know. Maybe try it. You want me to try it without headphones?
We can see what it seems like. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me at all?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Do you have echo?
No echo.
Okay. Well, we can just go like this because I can hear you.
That may have been the problem on the other one. The other one was lagging too.
Yeah, maybe it's just because I had my headphones plugged in. I usually don't use headphones, but hey, if this is working, we can keep going.
Yeah, now it's worked there. Let's see, perfect. Now it's fine.
Okay.
Raven says good now. Okay, we're good to go, and it's not distracting me so much either.
Sorry, man. I didn't realize my headphone plugged in. I could hear you perfectly clear. Everybody else can hear an echo. Sorry.
See, the thing is, it shouldn't be able to do that. I don't know how that would cause it.
You know what it is? It's me. I run at a weird high frequency, man. Maybe I was plugged in. That's what it is.
Just being a little reflective.
Sorry about that. I didn't realize me plugging in and putting it in my ears would affect the whole thing.
All good. Now it's working. 25
right.
minutes in, we got it figured out.
Yeah, hey, that's good. I should have unplugged the headphones before.
All right. Well, now we know. Let's see. What got you started in what you do? Where was your initiating event?
We had played around, me and my sister and her friends and my friends, all like from 12 on. But once I saw the Shadow Kid at Paul A. Dever, yeah, that's I stopped messing around. Full on shadow figure. Okay, there's something. It's not believing anymore. I just know. So there's a big difference. So then I just started looking at everything. YouTube, had come out. I had looked into monsters. I like horror movies and weird things. I had the UFO experience. I had a shadow person experience. I've heard my grandmother. Weird stuff happens all the time at my house here. Up in Mass, it happened all the time. It's just to the point where I couldn't deny anything. It was like showing me everything. It might have been right after I had an accident. I had a near-death experience. After that, I was definitely changed, and I had experiences before the near-death experience, and I had experiences after that. But that definitely switched something in my brain to where, all right, there is a lot more to everything that we have no clue about, from history being false and old technology being amazing from even 12,000 years ago. You just have to look at Göbekli Tepe. There's things we have no clue about, and they usually just cover it up and hide it. So then the new disclosure stuff, like there's some that has come out, JFK and MLK and moon landing. Some the big one for me was human paranormal capability file that came out from the CIA and DOD. That's a big. A lot of people probably haven't read that. I've read the whole thing. It's a pretty big file. Very interesting. That delves into all conspiracy theories pretty much.
Right. You said you had the near-death experience. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? What happened? What caused it, and what happened during it?
Okay, so 16 years old. I stood on my friend's car, on the hood of the car, doing Teen Wolf surfing. Idiot, because fun. He went a little faster than I thought he was going to, and so I jumped down and I was holding onto the windshield wipers. He turned a little bit. I went flying. I think it was 60 something feet, but I hit my head. I guess I got up and I laughed and I walked towards them, but all my eyes, ears, nose, mouth, everything was bleeding. I had a big lump already at that point on the back of my head. I was bleeding out of the back of my head. The last thing I remember from that was grabbing my friend's shoe, and he was standing above me, and then suddenly lots of red and blood, but then I was above him and above myself, looking down on myself. So I had what is known as OBE, or out-of-body experience. Yeah. And I could see myself on the ground. I could see him, and the friend that was driving left because he thought he had killed me. But helicopter came and picked me up. And before the helicopter came to pick me up, I remember going somewhere else. It was really dark and black space. Like I couldn't really see myself. I was just floating, and it was very relaxing and nice. Maybe some stuff out in the distance. I couldn't really tell. Maybe some like things, but you definitely. I felt like I was tingling or electrified. Then somebody came up behind me and grabbed me on the shoulder and pulled me back. I think that was my guardian angel. And then I woke up in a helicopter
with the helicopter pilot asking me, how many fingers, who's the president, and I ended up saying Bill Bush, but at that time it was George Bush, Bill Clinton were trading places, and so he was like, "That's pretty good. That's not bad. He's alive." So feeling the way I felt too, watching myself look down on myself was really weird, and I don't think I told too many people that after. Other than my friend Mike and my buddy Wayne, who were with me when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I told anyone. I don't even think I told my parents about the out-of-body experience. I do remember my mom giving me the newspaper with Ryan McDonald in the Easton, Mass newspaper, fell off car. Miraculously, next day, I was fine.
Right.
The lump had gone away from my head. I had no more lump. My skull wasn't fractured. They did a bunch of tests to see how I was. My sister said when she was out in the hallway, they've never seen somebody heal so fast or be that okay after an accident. I was able to leave Boston Hospital the next day. Some of the nurses were saying it's like a miracle. Some of the doctors we don't know how he's okay. We're not sure how he's okay, but I'm okay.
Well, obviously, glad you're here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Michael says, "Hi, Friday and Ryan." Pomp says, "It's crazy. Were you scared?"
Was I scared? No. When I was gone, no, it was nice.
You just have
leaving the hospital, I was a little freaked out because I was in Boston when I was in my neighborhood the day before, and it seemed like I had just woke up in Boston, like time travel. Time kind of stopped.
Time.
Yeah, time wasn't there. That time don't exist.
Yeah, a lot of people that have out-of-body experiences and near-death experiences, they say that one of the first things they notice is that time has stopped. Can you describe how that feels?
That's pretty much probably why it was so relaxing. I felt like I was all good. Like something telling me I'm all set. You're going to be fine. And then somebody came up behind me and grabbed me and pulled me back. Maybe that was just them telling me, and I was going to be fine. Guardian angel type stuff. I do believe in guardian angels. I believe in a lot of weird things, but after the experience, it's the same thing with the UFO and the shadow person. You can't really be a denier anymore once you experience it.
Right. Yeah, personal experience, it changes the way you think about things.
Yeah, I definitely came out a lot more open-minded. I couldn't remember the week before, but my memory is full from my whole childhood up to the week before the accident, and after. I have perfect memory of walking out of Boston and just the helicopter ride. I remember some of that. That was funny. Not really, but
yeah. Have you ever thought about doing any kind of meditation or anything to try to relive the experience?
Yeah, so I have done it myself, where I learned a little bit about out-of-body experiences, and once I realized how much other, like the other stories, I kind of started looking into other NDEs and out-of-body experiences. It's something you can practice and do. It's not like I wouldn't say meditating. You're actually getting close to sleep and then allowing yourself to get out of yourself, get out of your own head, kind of. It's hard to explain. I'm able to do it. I've done it a few times, even done it by accident after my accident. When I fell off the car, maybe a week later, I went to bed, thought I had walked into a kitchen and got something out of the fridge, and I had walked past people, and everything was regular. But then as soon as I closed the fridge, I woke up back in my bed. So I had done it by accident. There is Monroe Institute that has to do with remote viewing, out-of-body experiences, and a bunch of other stuff. which is in Virginia. I've always wanted to go to that because I think I could do out of body experience pretty easily, but they have different things to help you, like sensory deprivation, some tones to use, and different things like that. I would say meditating is good. Drink a lot of water. That's good.
I got that covered.
Yeah. Yes, drink lots of water. I'm gonna get
Lots of water.
1 second. I'm gonna get some.
Okay.
Mine's not water. Mine is not water.
Well, this one here is actually coffee.
Yeah, I had my 2 cups of coffee. I actually had 2 cups.
Yeah, this is 6 cups. In water.
Oh, geez. I love the Reese's. Reese's eggs are the best.
Oh yeah. This was a Easter gift 2 years ago. It had some Reese's Pieces and a few other things in it.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. Michael says OBE is kind of remind of astral projection, but I'm sure there's a difference.
Slightly. Not much.
Yeah.
It's not much difference, but it's tit for tat or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, it's kind of out of body experiences, not really voluntary sometimes. Astral projection is intentional, but you kind of go to the same location is what the research that I've done suggests. It's the same place, it's the same event, but
I would say even
it is what triggers it.
I would say even with the near-death experience, you might go a little further, but I think that is a very similar thing because I got the same feeling of vibrating or like electricity feeling. But then there's like lucid dreaming is definitely different, but still you're in a different state. I do believe in lucid dreaming. I've done it a few times by accident. I've had like horrible nightmares and then realized I was dreaming. And then it wasn't a horrible nightmare anymore. It was a lot of fun. So then when I woke up, I was kind of laughing. Lucid dreaming is, you can practice that too. It's not easy, but.
Right. I've done it unintentionally. I used to have nightmares myself up into my mid-20s until it was like mid-dream. I'm having this dark, I couldn't really see it, but I knew it was there. And in my dream, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. So I'm like, come here.
Yeah.
And then it just goes away.
Yep. Yeah. Once you realize, sometimes when you realize you're in a dream, though, you just wake up. I've done that a few times, and it kind of makes me mad. I was like, I was so close to staying in and doing a fun dream.
Right. Let's see. Pomp says there was a woman over here claimed to ask for project and caught her husband having an affair 3 doors up. That's interesting.
That's cool.
If you got a link to that, that'd be interesting to see. Post it in like Discord or something. Let's see. Mike says, I hate those kind of nightmares. Totally know what you mean.
Yeah, then there's like, what is it? Sleep paralysis. That one's scary. I don't really hope that ever happens. I don't want that one.
Yeah, definitely not. No, the problem is most of the time is when you're dreaming, the brain doesn't know that it's actually dreaming. It's just experiencing something because it's passing your short-term memory through the hippocampus to the long-term memory, and it just relives it while you're doing it.
That's why I did. I talked about this today. You draw a dot on your hand. And then if you're dreaming, you can try and look at your hands, and if there's no dot, you know you're dreaming. But a lot of the time when you realize you're dreaming, you just wake up. But once in a while, you might be able to have a dot on your hand, and then if you realize that you don't have the dot, you might be dreaming.
It's kind of like the spinning top in Inception.
Yeah, it's same difference, and it's kind of, it's not proven, but that is the same basis of like OBE with Monroe Institute. They just take it more and more steps further. A guy I watch is Area 52. Chris went and did it and he got real close. If you keep practicing it, he said he was like this close to going, and a lot of people in the group did say they had out of body experiences. I believe in remote viewing. I believe in that type of. I mean, once they disclose those files of human paranormal capabilities, you can't really deny it anymore. It's not secret anymore.
Right. Let's see. Alyssa says, I was told when I was younger, if you're in a nightmare, in a night terror or lucid dream, try to look in a mirror. If you cannot see your reflection, if you're dreaming, it allows you to realize you're dreaming if you practice.
Yep. That's a good one.
Yeah, there's going to be different ones. I'm one of those people that I'm not going to go
one just
forget.
Drink a glass of water right when you wake up, and it can help you remember your dreams. That's a simple one.
Hold on.
Yeah, if you just chug some water when you wake up, you probably will remember your dream a little bit better. Some people keep dream journals. I've never done that, but once in a while I will remember a dream because it was so vivid, or have that experience if I try. It doesn't happen much on mistake anymore, but after my accident, it happened a lot, the out-of-body experience. And it always kind of freaked me out. But now that I've learned so much about it, I think even if it happened, I don't think I'd freak out. But it's been a while. It's been over a year since I've had an out-of-body experience. I probably should try more.
Right. And I've heard people talk about the sleep paralysis is the biggest issue. Hey, Steve.
It's freaky.
Yeah. In my mind, the way I've tried to prepare myself for it, whenever I did try it, experiment with it, is I just told myself, okay, you know what's going to happen. Just embrace it. Just wait for the feeling that you can't move and just enjoy it.
Go with it. See what happens. You're doing research in your sleep. That's, I think, somebody said that on my Discord earlier. You're doing research in your sleep, which is probably everybody. We just don't realize it.
What was the name of that doctor that could sleep on a book and know everything about it when he woke up?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember his name. I do know who you're talking about. The man who could see with no eyes and stuff like that is very cool too. The premise, I get what you're saying. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was even on Unsolved Mysteries. I can't remember his name.
Because that's like that guy that was the tallest man in the world. Ripley's Believe It or Not found out a lot of things when I was real young. That's what I would read. Guinness World Records, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Then I started getting into TAPS, and TAPS came out. And I liked the ghost investigation side of it. A lot of the TV show stuff is a little silly now, but it's also possibly they did catch some stuff once in a while. It's just people wanted money. Most of the time they want money.
Yeah, the producers were like, look, we're losing viewers.
Start
sticking your camera in the wall.
Yeah,
that's whenever they lost me. I was like, no.
Yeah.
It got real Michael. Yeah, he says, have you ever had a dream that felt more like it was a vision? Those are creepy too. Yeah,
definitely. I've had deja vu to the point where I've done something different on purpose to see if it would change something. To the point where deja vu during the day, like that's the same type of thing. I've definitely dreamed things that don't make sense. And then the next day something might happen and I'll be like, I remember that being in my dream.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very common after, I guess, any NDE, but just out-of-body experience. You might be able to find stuff out of your body and then get up and it's happening a few seconds later and you go see it. So, very interesting type of time travel, maybe.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
science is starting to show that, or they say it's starting to show that when they do the experiments with light beams and whatnot, and this is all derived from the slit experiment. They've set up so many different reflectors, beam splitters, particle entanglers. But what they say that they're finding is that when you measure it, light travels away, but whenever you measure it, it becomes a particle.
Right.
And
They
have
just did that in science. Did you see? It's insane.
Well, what they're finding out now.
Crystal.
Yeah. But they're finding out that when you measure it later than what you would before, that the after measurement can actually change the decision of that light particle way back where it started. In other words, it goes back in time to change its state. And what they're trying to say is that everything happens all at once, but because of causality, we live
it's
it out.
happening all at the same time. Past, future, present. Happening all at once.
And before, when people would say that, when they had their near-death experiences, say, no, it all happened at once. They were called a coup. Now, science is trying to figure it out and saying it. There you go.
Yeah, it gets really confusing to the point where it is just exactly breaking physics. Because what I was reading was they froze light into a crystalline state, a super state, but then at the same time, it's a super liquid. So that just shows right there that it's always flowing, even if you capture it, but you're capturing different states at different points, but all at the same time.
Right.
So it makes sense. But then that makes me go, can we have lightsabers? Can we have the flux capacitor? There's shit that is in just movies that's science fiction, but each year we go by with new technology, are we going right towards science fiction as science fact?
Right. And it's the thought that I've been having lately is, we call it paranormal, but paranormal suggests that it's not normal. Now, what if everything that we're calling paranormal is just normal and we don't know how to detect it?
We just haven't detected it in the right way yet. Not yet.
Right.
Right. So everything is paranormal. It's just we don't understand it, so then we call it that instead of, but what the fuck's normal? Excuse my French.
Well, and you got a point. Define normal. Not many people can define that.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Edgar Casey? Edgar Casey? That sounds familiar. That may be the guy.
Casey?
Yeah, I think that may be it, Alyssa.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you, Julie.
I think it was Mark Twain who said, if you're not going to have fun with the story, why even bother? Or something along those lines. I forget the actual quote, but at least entertain the idea of things before you deny them. And then
I look at everything as a state of probability. It's kind of like, is your cat going to kill you? Well, probably not, but the chances are never zero. I mean, it could come up, something on its claw, scratch you, infect you, and kill you. Not intentionally, but the chances never
there's
zero.
There's always that Occam's razor and stuff. Whatever can happen will. Whatever can happen will happen. So impossibilities are broken all the time, or physics is actually broken all the time. We've proven that. One guy, I was just doing a whole story on Kesarov mirrors, and Nikolai Kesarov had a torsion theory. Torsion field theory is that time doesn't just stretch, it twists in a torsion state like wringing out a towel. There is proof of the ether, which I believe people have forgotten that there is an ether. That's basically dark matter, or I forget what they call it, something foam. Dark matter, antimatter, whatever you want to call it, is the ether. That's what, yeah, quantum foam. Things like that have been proven in science, and it kind of breaks all the rules. Einstein said it himself, time is relative. We
Yes.
actually have evidence of a lot of things now. Some of the files coming out that have been disclosed are amazing. I've only read a few, but I mean, there's a million pages that have probably come out that are of disclosure, from stuff on the moon to Mars to everywhere. The entire Earth, under the ocean, stuff is coming out every day that we're realizing that the pyramid probably has structure underneath to power something. That's my thought. My whole life I've thought that.
Yeah, I've got to watch the latest video from the Metatron. He actually listened to the 4-hour-long dissertation on it and translated the gist of it. He and Jimmy Corsetti actually talked about it for a minute too. But I gotta check that out.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things I still got to look into.
Yes, sir. Let's see, we've gone 51 minutes so far. Does anybody have any questions for him? If you got questions, go ahead and put it in the chat now, because we're going to go another 10 minutes. Let's see, what are your future endeavors as far as your research and whatnot? What are you going to focus on? Do you have any current projects that will lead you somewhere?
Yeah, I always got stuff lined up in my head. I don't really plan much. I just kind of go and investigate, film, see what I get. I've been doing it a lot more live now because I like the fact I can't mess around on the live. It's just live. I probably will be. So I'm definitely, next month, I'm going up to Massachusetts, back to the Bridgewater Triangle. I'll make sure to get to some prominent spots, but I'm going back to where I got my real ghost voice, Bridgewater Triangle. Just a whisper in my ear saying something. I'll go right back to the same spot. I know exactly where that is. There's a few other places up there. The Oliver House. The Oliver House is a very old house up in Massachusetts. Benjamin Franklin used to do notation in that house. There's Native American burials around there. Possibly some the 1786 house again. I'll probably be getting back to that. As long as I think it's sold, but I think it's just still sitting there. And the people who used to own it told me I could go in there if I want. So there's a lot of stuff up in Bridgewater Triangle. And then this summer I'm going out to Iowa, and I'm really hoping to get to Villisca Axe Murder House or the Farrar School. And I believe some big YouTubers, Sam and Colby, I never really watched them, but they own it. I still want to go to the school. They say it's haunted. It's not that expensive. It's only an hour away from my brother-in-law's house out in Iowa. Then before all that, probably next week, I'll be going back to Fort Monroe, see if I can catch a shadow person or more footsteps or a voice. I think I'll stay in the same area I was doing the investigation for a lot longer this time and see if I get more of a effect of anything. I don't know. Maybe read. Every time I've done this, I read out of this book about Fort Monroe. This is the Stories and Ghosts of Fort Monroe. Okay. And every time I read out of this, something usually happens.
Nice. Michael says, have you heard that they recently found a new pyramid somewhere? It's buried 200 feet below the sand.
Yeah. Jordan. I think it's Jordan. Overseas over there. I believe it's Jordan. I try and keep up. I get notifications for different historical artifacts that are found. Any new discoveries of types of animals. Like last year, they found a whale that science has never seen. 25-foot whale, and one washed up on the beach. They're studying that whale now, and they had thought that this creature might have existed, but they weren't sure. They'd never seen it before. So this was like maybe a year ago, maybe two. But it's
Yeah.
a beaked whale. It's a beaked whale, so whole new species. That goes along with the cryptid type stuff. I do believe that there may be types of Bigfoot, which is, I know, I'm not that crazy, but it's, there's enough evidence out there that stuff is out there. We got giant squid, we got giant octopus. There's always something found. I don't know if you noticed that 14% of animal life on the planet has been categorized. It's not that we know of, 14%.
Yeah, we don't know it all. All we really know is that we don't know it all. That's literally all we know.
We know we don't know. I'm not even sure how much of the ocean has been explored at this point. Not a lot.
Not a whole lot. I mean, and we even have names for this, like the Fermi paradox. You know, we have this vast, seemingly unlimited universe. Where is everyone? But we can't be.
Here's a good one people might not know. I just saw this on my feed today. There is an ocean inside the Earth that is as big as all the oceans on the surface.
Wow.
So
I'm assuming lava.
Some is lava, but there is ocean water. They're saying it's 200 miles down, but the new scanning techniques that they have there, that's how they scanned that pyramid with some of this new LiDAR type technology. It really is incredible. We might even have vast entrances into inner Earth. I kind of believe in inner Earth. I don't know how much. It's fun to talk about. That's why I like it so much.
Right. Well, they could only go down so far, the hole that they were drilling in Russia. So as far as 200 feet down, I don't know. It gets
200
pretty warm.
miles. It wouldn't. I would think it would just be lava, but
right. Yeah, because it gets really hot down there really quick, and liquid water, steam.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know how. I don't know how that could be possible. A giant ocean inside the Earth. Maybe.
Right. I would believe. Here's what I would believe with that is that it's in the dirt, mixed in with the dirt, but not that deep. So it's there, but it's not.
It's in its own little bubble.
Yeah. And if it could find a spot that's not got liquid rock in it, then yeah, maybe. Absolutely.
Possible. Because I don't know. It's like a thing. I see stuff every day, and I'm like, well, let's see. When Göbekli Tepe first came out, I was like, I don't know if it's that old. You guys might be stretching it. But no, they've proved it's about 12,000 years old, standing stones, hieroglyphs. They only uncovered 5% of that and then covered it back up and said, we'll wait 125 years to uncover the rest.
Yeah, but why?
That's how
why not uncover it now?
You're hiding it.
And then they went and planted trees all over it. Well, we know those roots are going to go down there and destroy stuff.
It's going to, you put concrete paths all over it and a roof over the main part. Yeah, you're destroying evidence no matter what you're saying you're not. You're destroying something.
Yeah,
that's sad. It really is. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's like there's so many things archaeologically speaking that we're just not allowed to know. People want to go and check, and they're like, nope, can't do that because
not allowed. Not allowed. You can't go there.
Yeah, there's just okay. Well, why not? Why not find out? Well,
I wouldn't have stopped digging. If I was an archaeologist, I would have not stopped digging. They would have had to pull me out of there or shoot me. Where's the gold stuff? Where's the gold stuff?
Right? Yeah, where's I mean, you can find some of the figurines or some of the writing, that'd be worth more than gold to me because the information is just.
I mean, you find some of the Dead Sea Scrolls. We have the hidden libraries are a big deal. We should be looking for King Solomon's Library and the great libraries. some of these things are still just buried. We probably know where they are, or a government does, but we're not gonna. That's like, I'm the Smithsonian, please. I'd like to see some of the giants. They have
Yeah.
giant skulls and they have giant coffins. Why would you make a giant coffin if you didn't have giant people?
Why would you have 12 and 30-foot tall doorways in places?
It's kind of an obvious factor for all of this, and it's a little confusing to me why people don't actually just be like, all right, well, we should petition when we stop a dig like Göbekli Tepe or stop one of these type of things. It was 2015 in Iraq. Navy SEALs got attacked by a giant it was Iran or Iraq, and there's a whole.
Your video feed froze up on my end here.
Are we getting kicked off? I'm saying too much.
And that is kind of weird. It would freeze when you start talking about that.
Yeah. But
anyway, we have gone a full hour now. Did you want to keep going, or do you want to cap it off here?
yeah, I could go for like another 15 if you want. I got to go get my kid in a little bit, but
Okay.
you got any other questions? I mean, what was your first paranormal experience?
I've talked about that a few times. Talked about it on Laura's stream. That was actually when I was about 10, 11, something like that. In the house that we grew up in, my bedroom was at one end of the house and my parents was way at the other. It was a mobile home that was added onto. And from my room, there were no doors. I was a kid. I didn't need a door.
Yeah.
I could hear during the night these voices sounded like a bunch of people talking, like a AM radio that's tuned in between stations, where you just hear all this muttering.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I would get up, look down the hallway, straight into the living room, and I figured my dad was up watching TV. Nothing there. Sound was stopped. It would just go away as soon as I got up. Okay, so I go back to bed. A few nights later, same thing happens. Third time it happened, I actually go in the living room, put my hands on the TV because it's one of those tube types. Similar.
Yeah.
Of course, it was cold, hadn't been on. Nothing
So
happened.
what?
It wasn't anything electronic. I mean, back in the late 80s, early 90s, we didn't have a lot of electronics. So I'm telling my parents about it, and they're like, "No, you're hearing a car go down the highway playing loud music. It's a neighbor. You know, what are you going to tell a kid?" So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to prove it. Before I knew what EVP was, I tried to record EVP. I set up a little tape recorder. I had a microphone that was supposed to go to a CB radio.
Okay, yeah.
Very sensitive, but I had it plugged up into it. Because I modified on it. Whole night, nothing happened. Didn't record anything but the dog snoring. Like, seriously, hear everything the dog did all night. So apparently, whatever it was, I aggravated it whenever I did that. Because
So yeah, it knew you did that.
It was quite apparently well aware. Because that night was the first real experience that I knew was a paranormal experience.
Yeah.
I had my alarm clock right there beside the bed. And of course, because I tinkered with the electronics, it didn't have any of the screws in it. It was just kind of pieced together and sat there.
Okay. Yeah.
So I get woke up with this loud radio noise. And I just start banging the radio, trying to flip switches. My eyes are closed, half asleep. Then I reach over and unplug it. And I'm like, okay, it's still making noise. So I grab it, kind of chunk it in the room, and it falls open. And I still hear the noise. And it was that point that I finally woke up enough to was like, okay, that's not the radio.
Yeah, that ain't the radio no more, man.
So I grabbed the pillow, put it over my head, and I could actually hear the voices on the bottom pillow through the bed, talking through the pillow from the bottom side. And it scared the crap out of me.
How old did you say?
About 10 or 11.
Yeah, that would. Oh man, that's like the planchette moving on me. I never thought anything could happen. Playing Ouija board by myself, 9, 10 years old. Didn't think it was going to do anything. I remember crying and running to my parents. So something happened, but
Yeah.
so young. I don't really recall exactly what happened, but
Right.
that's a great story. You had something happen, man.
Well, there was more.
Keep going.
No, I felt something at the foot of the bed, and this was the last thing that happened before I left the room for 2 weeks. I felt something at the foot of the bed, and I thought, okay, it's the cat. Cat's not going to come in a haunted room, right? So I reached down to go to call for the cat, and there's nothing there. And I see a footprint appear, and then another, and then another. It was walking up the bed towards me.
Jesus, man.
Threw off the blanket, left the room, and I wouldn't go back in, especially not at night. The second week I would go in during the day, but I had my mother go in there and get my clothes for me, and I was sleeping on the couch.
Was this in Texas?
Yeah, a little area around Lake Livingston.
That's a freaky one, man. I would have freaked out. I probably would have peed myself as a little kid. Oh man, that's a great one. I didn't hear that one when you were on Laura's, so thank you for telling me.
Not a problem. Yeah, it's out there, but that's my first real big one. But I really didn't till I was 20.
Didn't talk about it.
Not really. I mean, it really sounds kind of too fantastical, to be honest. But it's
Exactly. That's some of these stories, though. What I've noticed over the years, even the most skeptical person still is like, yeah, well, one time. And even if it's okay to be skeptical, it's good to be skeptical scientifically. You're trying to be reasonable, logical, but everybody seems to have something at one point or another, have some type of story where it is beyond explanation. It's not natural. It's not this, it's not that, and you can see it's not that. So you just kind of have to admit it at some point.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We've gone just over an hour here. Sorry about all the mix-up, everybody. Trying to get this streaming stuff right. I'm just going to have to stick with StreamYard. I wanted to do it on my own, but I just don't have the correct setup for it. But I do appreciate everybody coming by. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on. We'll talk more later. And if you want to come on, so everybody,
right,
please.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care, Mr. Ryan.
Peace out.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this off. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. And on the next stream, hopefully it'll run a whole lot better. Everybody take care.